Welcome back, everyone. It's time to put Luigi to work in the flower cup. Now, we've had a few problems, which is about what you'd expect for Luigi. Things don't really go right for the poor guy. Anyway, don't worry about the A rank, there is much less where that came from. We're going to get straight into it. It's important to get off to a good start here, because you've got to go right through the turn, and that'll probably take you into the pack. But if we can cut through a little bit, we will be able to hopefully hold a pretty decent lead. Unfortunately, you have to swing out pretty wide on some of the turns. The AI tends to have a very good line no matter what. Alright, if I can drop that off, I think I'm pretty set for this race. Unless I do that. So it is a bit twisty and turny, but it is actually pretty fun to drive overall. Those twists and turns actually can make for a very interesting track. This one was the last in the Mushroom Cup in the original game. As I mentioned, there were cups of 5 tracks. There's Donkey Kong flying past us. And so far it's actually been a pretty relaxing run, but of course this is Mario Kart, so you can expect pretty much anything to happen at any moment. Peach flying over us. And there we go. Actually a pretty good run. First couple of attempts were pretty disastrous, if I'm going to be honest. So with some solid results, we move on to Chaco Island 1. A couple of these tracks with the backgrounds from Sunset Wilds. Always happy to see that back. And I missed the boost start, maybe pressed it a bit too early. But unfortunately I'm bouncing around a lot because I crashed into that wall. And so yeah, as you can see, I wasn't holding the drift button there. But basically, you mess up once and your handling can go to hell. Especially if you drive off the track, it bogs you down so much. But my terrible skills aside, you really can't sneak past anybody. Toad spitefully rams me as I get into first place. That's a much better line, except I went in the dirt. Okay, can I get some coins? Lots of little jumps, it appears. Which can make it a little difficult to wind up getting coins, because some of them are, as you might have seen, conveniently positioned in between the jumps. I'm also driving fairly badly and managing to miss all of them. And I ran into a shell. Do I still have a bit of a lead? Oh, man. Should never say a track in Mario Kart is easy, even if it is. With some good times followed by some really, really bad ones. I can do better, I promise. So with that out of the way, we're on to Ghost Valley 2. Simple enough on paper. But, compared to the first one, this can be a nightmare getting coins. Whoops. I did not mean to do that. Whoops, I was too close to him. That was smooth handling, Luigi. You probably deserve the credit for that one. And a mushroom. So I've mentioned before, when it starts to get to these ones, which require some fairly complicated handling, I don't like getting mushrooms. Well, after a terrible start, we've actually recovered. I think Luigi is putting in some serious work for me and covering for my terrible skills. So very much appreciated, Luigi. Some items out there. Can we swing by Bowser? Whoops. Oh man, that's me. That's all on me. Thankfully, we didn't have to worry about suddenly winding up getting into second because I just crashed. But, geez, some pretty good times in there. With a couple of shonky ones because I drove poorly. I'm my own worst critic, let's be honest here. And Wario has been on my ass like a hemorrhoid for the entire time. Let's see if I can get rid of him on Donut Plains 2, which was incredibly annoying in the SNES original because of the Monty moles. You really had to work to get them to shake them off, and there are some very narrow points that actually make it really hard to stay on the track. And of course, because you get penalised for driving off-road, it can be very difficult if you mess up your line just once. An element I don't really like about this particular track. Okay. Oh, and I managed to jump over all the coins. Bad timing. Alright. This one is probably the track that kills my score the most. Okay, swing it round. Yeah, we're doing okay so far. And actually I handled that pretty well. I've just got to make sure I don't drift too late, and then I think I'm set. Okay, put up a defense. Whoops, a bit too far out there. And there we are, we're starting to lap people, but will they start ramming us in spite, or will... Oh no, 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 no. Whoa, that went badly. That went incredibly badly. I got arrogant. Oh. That was stupid. Well, despite some pretty horrible driving and some fairly close races, I actually made it through that with a 2-star ranking. How did I pull that off? Probably Ghost Valley and Mario Circuit. Mario Circuit 2 really did it for me, I'd say. Well, sometimes I surprise myself, but I'm more likely to stitch myself up. Anyway, that will wrap things up for this episode. Thank you very much for joining me and for putting up with my occasionally shonky driving. I will see you out on the track for more Mario Kart Super Circuit.